Hello, everyone. Welcome to our channel. So, today's topic is connecting with our energies, and we have Ema Melanphy with us to discuss and give her speech on how to connect ourselves with our energies. So, Ema, would you like to please introduce ourselves with our audience?
Certainly. Thank you very much, Tanvir, for that lovely intro. Yes, I'm Ema Melanphy. I'm a Reiki Master teacher and also a Shiatsu student practitioner. So I combine different modalities and different frameworks for energy work in my practice. I'm also a meditation teacher. So I thought it might be nice for us to do an experiential kind of exercise, which is like a guided meditation. And it's to connect our awareness and our consciousness to each of the three burning spaces of traditional Chinese medicine. And these three burning spaces are major energy centers. They're all very different in character and nature. So it's a really good way of connecting with what's going on in our own energy and how we actually are, what the balance is like, what areas might want a bit of attention. And it's a way for us to connect with our bodies because there's a lot of wisdom and knowledge and understanding that's there on the felt level, not necessarily in the conscious thinking monkey chatter kind of level. So when we deliberately go and connect with each of these three burning spaces and hold space for ourselves, we're allowing those hidden areas, the areas that are normally hidden in everyday kind of experience, to come forward and to communicate with us in whatever way they feel like, and to make us aware of whatever is present in our bodies and our energy at that point in time.
Yeah, thanks, Emma. So, for last couple of months, we are talking about different section of spirituality, such as Reiki, house healing, dowsing stuff. So, if our viewers are not aware of those videos, I will request them to watch those videos. There will be a link below, so to get a more concise idea that what we are talking about. So today's video will make more sense if they watch those other videos. So without any
Definitely.
further ado, Ima, let's jump back to today's session.
Great. So, Tanvir, are you happy for me to proceed and to guide us through the meditation? Do you have any questions you'd like to ask before we get started, or is there anything you'd like me to explain or to cover in more depth at all?
Yeah, it would be great if you just give us a framework that what
Mm,
we are going to do today.
yeah,
It
yeah.
will
So,
give a good idea for our audience as well, so they can also
yes,
get prepared.
yes, absolutely. So, first up, I will say that this is a really approachable um, energy work exercise. It takes the form of a guided meditation. You don't have to have meditated before to be able to do this. You don't have to have even thought about anything to do with your own energy to do this exercise. Absolutely anybody can do it. And it's a great way to, it's a great first step really to connecting with your own energy, because our own energy kind of affects how we perceive the other energies around us. So it's always best to turn inwards first as the first point of reference, really. So for those of our viewers who have watched the other videos, that's all really amazing to give you background information, to give you a taste of what it's about, to help you understanding with the conscious thinking mind. What we're going to do today is to connect with an actual experience of energy work. And it's the most basic, fundamental form of energy work that you can possibly do. And that's connecting with the energy in your body, because we are made of energy and there are different forms of energy within our bodies. And what we'll be doing is connecting with, actually, these three energy centers are also energy centers within other traditions too. So the upper burner, the kind of the heart space, is in traditional Chinese medicine, that's kind of the fire and metal element. So that the character of what we'll find there will be relating to the lungs and to the heart mostly, and that the fire elements, meridians and organs. Then we'll move to what's the solar plexus chakra, and that's the middle burner. So that's the bottom of the rib cage and the top of the abdomen. And that's the earth element. So that's the stomach and spleen, and that is processing and integrating our experiences, and as well as the food that we take, everything we take in, ideas and concepts and things. Tanvir, do you have a question you'd like to ask at all?
Yeah, Ima. So I think it would be a great help for our audience if they know about the five element first, so
Yeah.
that they can relate that what is the fire element, what is the water element. So just a
Do you know
glimpse.
what? Do you know what? I would love
Yeah.
to, but I have a feeling that if I went into that in depth at this point, it would cloud people's experience.
Okay.
What we want to, you don't need to understand the elements to be able to do this. And if you're thinking about this new idea that you've just kind of heard about and learned about, it's amazingly engaging, but it's going to start the thinking brain going, and you're going to potentially be wanting to superimpose and understand what you see. And actually, what we're doing is not understanding. We're not going to try and figure anything out. Okay, we're going to connect, we're going to hold space and be compassionate for the energies and whatever form they want to take, however they want to communicate with us. And it might change from one place, one space to the next. Quite often there'll be either colours or movements, emotions or memories. You might just get a sense of a quality or certain quality, a certain idea might come forward. I don't want you to figure out what it is. I don't want you to try and place it or tell a story around it. I want you to let the experience speak for itself, and just be with it in as open, neutral, and non judgmental a way as possible. Afterwards, that's when we want to talk about the five elements. We want to interpret things potentially, maybe not. It really depends. There's often a lot of processing that needs to happen after one of these, because especially if we don't connect in very often, it can be very, very powerful. There can be a lot of deep experience that we've been sitting on that's not had the chance to be processed properly, and that our body really wants us, because the body holds all of our experiences that are unprocessed, including things like trauma. So we're going to be just allowing, that's not to say that you'll be traumatized after this, though. I have to say it is perfectly safe, and it'll be gentle, but it's potentially going to be quite powerful, and you might have some aha moments and some realizations of things that you want to do in your own self-healing journey, and things that you want to think about and do some journaling around. So especially in relation quite often to the third burning space, the lower burner, because that is related to our water element, our kidney energy, which is our it's one of the most powerful energetic centers in the body. In terms of the chakra system, it's around the sacral chakra. It's also one of the three diamonds, the lower dantian, in Reiki, in Japanese energy work. So it's a really, really important, it's where our essence lives. It's our inherited chi, it's our vitality and potential. It's the center of magic, where we allow things to be grown within us, ideas to be crystallized and prepared, so that we can then birth them into the world. So it's really, really powerful there. And quite often there'll be a lot of judgment, because it's our tummy, and you know, most of us nowadays are quite we're living in a society where there's a lot of judgment around body shapes. And it often doesn't feel very safe even to allow our tummies to be relaxed and soft and just to let them be. But when we are brave enough to start doing that, that's when our intuition really steps up, and it's a real powerhouse. So I'm quite conscious, Tanvir, that I've been talking about some of the aspects of five elements theory already. But it's just like an overview snapshot for some context. I'm not going to go into the very detailed ins and outs of it, or get us to do kind of connection with the five elements, which I could do. What we're going to do is the three burning spaces meditation. You don't have to know anything, as I said, you just have to follow my guidance. I will be guiding us through the meditation. It's just a case of finding a nice comfortable seat that you can sit upright and supported on and be fairly comfortable. Maybe have a blanket or something that you can wrap yourself in, because body temperatures can change during meditation, especially where energy is concerned. And you might also want to have a glass of water or maybe a cup of tea or something beside you, because energy work's also thirsty work. Even if we're not connecting to Reiki, we just to our own internal energy, when we start connecting with our energetic experience and our felt sense and energy in general, there's often a lot of processing to happen as well, and that also requires water and good hydration. So yeah, I'm happy to kick off now, Tanvir. Do you have anything else you'd like me to go through at all, or to ask?
Yeah, Amit, thanks for explaining what we're going to do. So, for few of our viewers, they might have this meditation experience for the first time. So,
Hmm.
sometimes they might face that they are not able to concentrate. So, do you have any
Yes,
solution for them?
I certainly do. And I will be actually, because when I've delivered this before online, my audience is often very new to this as well. And I'm very conscious that, our minds can wander. That's what brains do. So the first thing is, don't worry about it. If you're new to meditation, and even if you're not, the mind has a tendency to wander. And a really nice way of looking at it that I've heard is to think of your mind as a puppy, little puppy. And you put the puppy down on a blanket and you're trying to train the puppy, and you want the puppy to stay where they are. And then the puppy gets distracted by something and gets up and wanders off. Um, you don't get angry and chastise the puppy. You just very gently notice, pick them up, and bring them back. So I'll be making sure to include check-in points during the meditation, and the fact that you'll have my voice and my explanations, my descriptions to follow should help. But if you do start to find things are too intense, you can always return to the breath, and we'll be starting off with some breath work to begin with. Um, and if you find that your mind starts to go back up to your awareness starts to go back up, I should say, to the thinking mind, then what you can do is just notice, say, oh, I'm thinking again, that's fine. And just allow your awareness to travel down again to whichever burning space we're at, or whichever burning space you want to be at, because you don't have to be bound or constrained by what I'm telling you. Meditation is something that we co-create where there's a guide involved. So it's always for you to honour your experience and your needs, and what you feel is right for you. So please feel free at any point to move back to a place where you felt more comfortable. If things start to get too intense, that's absolutely fine. And I would rather you did that than kind of stuck with it if it wasn't comfortable for you. So I guess in a nutshell, Tanvir, it's a case of follow my voice, But don't worry if you start to think about other things or you get distracted. Just as soon as you notice, just allow yourself to come back to that place that we were at. Does that answer your question, Tanvir?
Thanks, Ema, for explaining it very well. So
Thank
definitely, what we need to do, we need to focus. We need when our minds goes from here to there, we just take it as very easily and
you.
get our mind back to in our inner concentration.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. Because the brain is, it's very very loud, isn't it? And it's meant to be. It likes having attention, and there are evolutionary reasons why it's like that, and storytelling, figuring things out. In fact, quite often the narratives and the journeys that it takes are there to help us to be safe and well, and or at least they were back when we were living in kind of Neanderthal times, or earlier stages of our evolutionary journey. Um, but the thing is, there are techniques that we can use to allow our mind to keep thinking and to keep processing the thoughts. It's like a gland. A gland produces hormones. The brain produces thoughts, and we don't have to pay too much attention to them. Sometimes they'll get noisy and they'll draw us in, and that's fine. We just notice. We say, "Oh, it's doing it again." That's what brains do. Never mind. And just kind of, you then can exercise your choice as soon as you notice, I think.
yeah. So Ima, one thing more,
Mm.
does our audience need to bring pen and paper for today's session?
That's a really, really good point, Tanvir. Yes, please, if you can, please feel free to get yourself a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil. I'm actually using a coloured pencil because that's what I have to hand. And we are going to use this at the end of the session to record our experiences. So I'm going to give you a moment to pause the video and to go and get yourself a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil. If you want to use some tech to do this, that's absolutely fine as well. Um, and yeah, I'm just going to assume that you have arrived back. And if not, you can always rewind a little bit. But this is what you want your paper to look like. So 2 lines horizontally. You want your paper in portrait because it's 3 burning spaces. So it's upper, middle, and lower, or upper, middle, and lower. Really doesn't matter. And there's no set way of doing it. I'll explain when we get to that point, so you don't have to worry about remembering. But basically, you'll be able to use words or drawings or even scribbles or something that represents to you or communicates to you what you experienced, what your body brought forward for you in each of those burning spaces. And if one of the burning spaces communicated differently from the others, say one of them was colour, one of them was emotion, and one of them was a memory, for example, then you can write that underneath. Um, you can also use whatever you want to symbolize. If one of the burning spaces felt like it wanted a bit of attention, it wanted a bit of TLC, it was maybe a bit more obvious or noisy than the others, or maybe even if there was one of the burning spaces that was quieter, because you may not get a lot from it, and that's fine. It's you don't have to do anything. We're just going to be allowing the body to speak to us. So don't worry if it's quite quiet. This is probably a new experience for most of our viewers. So don't worry, just give it a go.
So I already have brought my paper and the
Star
pen as
pupil.
yeah,
Yay!
and papers
Different
as well.
colours.
Yeah. So
Excellent.
yeah, so let's start our session.
Yes, I can't wait. Let's begin. Okay. So we're not going to have any music. If you want to put music on yourself in the background to feel more relaxed or focused, then please feel free. But there's no need for that, because we're going to be quite aware and conscious during this, although quite relaxed. So First of all, I'd like to invite you to put your feet flat on the floor and just adjust your seated position so that you are seated in a nice upright position with your sit bones directly beneath you. And from your waist, I'd like you to feel a sense of being lifted up. It's as though there's a golden thread at the top of your head, and it's gently lifting you upright, giving you support from above, so you don't have to sit stiffly or make an effort to sit upright. You don't need to worry about posture or anything like that. Just allow yourself to be lifted and drift upwards. And this golden thread it's creating almost like breathing space in your back. There's a sense of expansion and fluidity of movement. And if you want to move around very gently in this position, please feel free to. So from your waist down to sit bones, you are feeling a sense of connection and rootedness. You can feel the weight of your head flowing down through every vertebra of the spine, all the way down to the waist, through the hips, through the sit bones, through the seat that you're seated on, also down through your legs, knees, shins and calves, through your ankles and your feet, and through the soles of your feet. Maybe you'd like to lift up your toes and just deepen that connection to the earth. And in this position, you are noticing your entire body weight being supported and held by Mother Earth as it flows smoothly and evenly, effortlessly down through the structure of your body, down through the chair and through your legs, into the ground beneath you. You are held and supported by the sky above you, by the earth beneath you, perfectly balanced and aligned. If you haven't already done so, I'd like to invite you to close your eyes or to soften your gaze and turn it downwards. And we're going to just bring the awareness to the breath. And I'd like you to notice the sensation of the air as it funnels in through your nostrils. Maybe it feels cool around the edges. And you're going to breathe all the way down into your tummy, all the way down to your lower abdomen, drawing that fresh, clean, pure, life-giving oxygen all the way down into your body, holding for a moment and then allowing it to slowly, effortlessly flow up, up, up and out again, carrying with it any stresses or strains, any energetic blocks, all of the stale, spent air and the carbon dioxide, just allowing it to rejoin the ocean of air that surrounds you. It surrounds all of us. Just taking a few more of these breaths and maybe with your mind's eye following the path it takes in through the nose, up and down through the throat, down to the lungs and down to the lower abdomen, drawing in fresh, bright air and life-giving chi and energy, the pure chi of the air that surrounds us. Just let it flow You don't need to control it, just notice it. And just one more round of these mindful breaths, bringing down that energy and oxygen, holding it for a moment, allowing it to permeate ever so slightly more widely inside your body and expand slightly. And then just letting go of all of the bits that you don't need anymore. Everything you're ready to let go of. Everything that's weighing you down or holding you back. Everything you're ready to just breathe out and release from your awareness, from your existence, from your experience on all levels. So, in a moment, we're going to begin our journey through the body. But before we do so, I'd like to invite you to visualize, create an image to represent your consciousness or your awareness. Now, that might be a little person. It could be an orb of light, gentle and glowing. It could be a butterfly. It could be absolutely anything, whatever comes to mind and that feels right for you. Let it be that. Don't have to think too deeply about it. And if it wants to change shape during, then just let that happen. So, bringing that awareness and consciousness, bringing your little orb of light, glowing, or your butterfly, or your little person, up into your head, to the seat of our thoughts, where we spend a lot of time. And just noticing the thoughts as they arise and then drift away like clouds in the sky. And just being aware and conscious of the fact that your thoughts are not you. Your thoughts are simply things that happen, things that the brain produces. They're not you and they're not yours. They're just things that happen. And you can allow your brain to make the thoughts as byproducts of the work it's doing to keep you healthy and happy and alive. So I would like, just for the space of this meditation, I would like to invite you to delegate responsibility to your brain for thinking the thoughts, for noticing the thoughts, for doing whatever it needs to, being in charge of the thoughts and the thinking. Delegate responsibility to the brain because it's really good at the thoughts. And now you've delegated that responsibility, it's no longer yours. Just having a break from paying any attention to those thoughts. And I'd like you to allow your consciousness and your awareness to begin its journey down. Maybe you'd like to place both hands on your upper chest, on the outside of your body, at the upper burner, the first of the 3 burning spaces that we'll be visiting. And with your hands on your chest, just allow your consciousness, in whatever form it's taken, to drift slowly, effortlessly, but with purpose, down to the space within your body, behind the place where your hands are. And firstly, I'd like you to notice what it feels like on the physical level. So what does it feel like for your hands and the attention they're bringing to be connecting with your upper burner? It might be neutral. It might have an emotion attached to it. It might feel nice. It might feel uncomfortable. That's fine. However it is just fine. It doesn't mean anything. There's nothing to do. Just notice and allow whatever is present to be present. So, bringing the focus into the body, into the space within, I'd like you to, if you can, cultivate and embody a sense of expansiveness, permission, gentle curiosity and friendliness to this burning space and to all of the energies that are present. I'd like you to invite or set the intention to invite your body to bring forward into your consciousness whatever it wishes to make you aware of. Allow it to. No judgment, nothing to fix, nothing to do, nothing wrong. It's just how you are for now. And that will change too, and that's fine. Nothing to do, nothing to create, no effort. Maybe you'd like to use the idea of sitting in the cinema, the lights have gone down, relaxing in your seat and waiting for the show to begin, allowing whatever comes forward on the screen of your experience to live its own life and to show you how it is, how you are, what's present. Just breathing, breathe out. And it's fine if it's quiet. No judgment. It's almost like you're meeting up with an old friend, asking them how they've been, and allowing them to tell you without interrupting, welcoming this connection with warmth and friendliness. And maybe the experience changes, and that's fine too. So before we say our goodbyes to this space, I'd like you to just notice what it's been like here. Just note to yourself what it's been like. Acknowledge that experience you've had. Thank your energy and your upper burner for sharing whatever has been shared with you in whatever way it's been shared. Even if it's been a simple quietness and openness and expansiveness. That's absolutely fine. So saying thank you and goodbye for now to your heart space, to your upper burner. And I'd like to invite you to place your hands now on your solar plexus, your middle burner, the bottom of your rib cage, the top of your abdomen. And maybe you'd like to place one hand behind you, parallel with the other, or maybe one or both hands on your sides. However feels right for you is absolutely fine. Honor your intuition. So with your hands on this burning space, just sending your consciousness, your awareness, your focus down through the inside of your body to a place that is even and level with the position of your hands, to that interior landscape of the middle burner. And if your mind starts to get busy, if your consciousness has drifted up to your brain again, that's fine. No problem. That's normal. It's what happens. Just as soon as you notice, allow your consciousness again to very gently drift all the way down to the middle burner again. Don't beat yourself up. Some self-compassion, gentle friendliness, understanding, no right or wrong. What happens, happens. It's fine. So noticing what it feels like with your hands, making good, solid connection with your middle burner on the exterior of your body. What's that like? And then allowing your awareness, your focus to be on the interior again and again, just opening up, asking, inviting, giving permission, holding space for the experience of your middle burner to come forward, for your middle burner to communicate whatever it wishes, however it wishes to, right now. Relaxed, friendly, curious, compassionate. Allow it to be how it is. Try not to change things or interpret things. Try not to compare with the upper burner. And if you notice an inclination to want to do that, then try to be compassionate to yourself about that. However you react to this experience is absolutely fine, but you are still in charge. So just notice and then return to an open-hearted, relaxed, spacious, friendly, welcoming, holding space, letting your body speak to you. Your body so rarely gets the chance to do this. It might take them a while to find their voice properly, and that's fine. Breathe it in, settle back, Just notice. And know that you don't need to understand. It's almost better if you don't. Just notice, drink in the experience. You can figure it all out afterwards. Just noticing. Let it be. If it gets to be too intense, then please feel free to allow your consciousness to return to your hands for a while, for as long as you want, or even to the breath again. And maybe you'll receive images, clear or cloudy. Maybe there'll be colours or movement. Maybe there'll be a wish or an impulse. However your middle burner communicates with you, even if that changes, that's absolutely fine. And just know that being here, giving yourself permission to be in this space and to do this, is incredibly healing. It's incredibly powerful. Even if you don't understand anything of what you're experiencing, the fact that you are open to it and holding space and allowing it to be and to change, not trying to control anything, will be incredibly, powerfully healing for you on many levels. So, before we move on, I'd like you to again notice, acknowledge what this has been like. Maybe pick something from the experience that characterizes it. Maybe it's more than one thing, and that's fine too. So let's say thank you to our middle burner, to this important, beautiful energy center within the body. And let's say goodbye for the moment, as we can return whenever we wish. And then I'd like you to place both of your hands onto your lower abdomen. And again, this can be at the front, this might be on your sides, this might be around the sacrum and the lumbar on your back, or any combination of those. And just notice what it feels like to have your hands against this lower burner on the exterior. Notice what it feels like and see whether you can breathe some softness, breathe some relaxation, breathe some acceptance and love into this very important, often ignored energy center, which is the seat of our intuition, the seat of our essence and our potential, and also connects us to every ancestor, to that flowing river of golden chi and life force that flows through every living being, from the one before and the ones before and the ones before, connecting us directly all the way back to the very, very first life on this earth. And this potential and this chi flows through you, and it's stored in this energy center. And it goes into everything you do that is connected with your life's purpose. And it goes into everything of yourself that you put out into the world, everything you birth and create, whether human or otherwise. That connects to your essence, to this life-giving force of creation. So let's allow our consciousness and our awareness to drift down fully into the lower abdomen, to the interior landscape, level with your hands. And now we're here, let's just open to the experience. What's present here, right now, in your lower burner. Being with yourself, holding space for yourself, giving yourself permission to just be exactly as you are. Nothing to be done about it, nothing to fix, nothing to interpret or story tell around, just with the immediacy of the experience itself. Loving embodied presence, gentleness, kindness, understanding, and acceptance. Breathe it in. Let it be. Let yourself be. And maybe you'll feel a resonance or something elsewhere in your body. And that's just fine. That happens, just notice. Allow it. And again, if this becomes too intense, please feel free to allow your focus to move to the exterior part of your body or to the breath. And again, noticing and firming up in your memory, your consciousness, something to represent the experience that your lower burner has shared with you. Something to honor this connection, to honor this energy, however we find it in this moment. And let's thank our low burner, our lower dantian, and the energies that we are connected with here, through and in our bodies and on all levels. And let's say goodbye for the moment and take a deep breath. And then I would like to invite you to allow your consciousness, your awareness to expand, to encompass the whole of your physical body all at once. What's it like to be you as an entire entity right now? What's present in your awareness? What's this like? And then we're going to become aware of the room in which we're sitting, the feeling of the chair beneath, the feeling of feet against the surface of the floor. Maybe wiggle our fingers and toes to bring some more life back into the body. Maybe a deep breath or a stretch. And then when you're ready, very gently allow your consciousness to come back into the here and now and open your eyes, come fully back into the room. And when you're ready, draw or write or make any representation on that piece of paper you have next to you when you feel ready to do so. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Emma. It was really intense. So
Yeah.
give us some time to draw on the paper what we have felt. So
Yeah.
yeah, we are back.
Yeah.
So
If you haven't had something to drink yet, I would definitely recommend it.
yeah, let me drink what.
Yeah. And I should mention, Tiggs came to join us during the last bit of the meditation during the lower burner. That's obviously the one that spoke to him.
Right. So uh, I think most of our viewers has experienced something different. But
Oh,
what
definitely.
uh, what I have felt during the meditation in all those burner, upper burner, mid burner, and the lower burner. So I want to share.
Thank you.
So can you
Ooh,
say it?
I can, yes.
So in the top burner, so in the
Mm-hmm.
lung area,
Mm-hmm.
so uh, right now I have some deposited mucus in my lung. What I can
Ah,
feel that. So
mm-hmm.
for that, I get a sense to drink more water.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good. So your body was telling you what you needed to
right,
feel better on the physical level. That's
right,
lovely.
right. And in the mid burner, so
Mm-hmm.
in my stomach, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it is saying that I need to take food more on time
Okay,
because
lovely. Yes.
I feel that though I'm trying to avoid any kind of food which is not good for my health, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not always on time.
Ah,
So
yes.
probably that's why my mid burner expect me to be on time so that it can regulate its energy. I mean, the body clock properly.
Mm, yeah.
And in the lower burner, so I have tried
Mm-hmm.
to draw the kidney and the prostate
Yeah.
stuff, but the thing is
Yeah.
here uh, I feel something different, so it is more like a energetic feeling.
Yeah.
So it was saying that I need to focus on my sacral chakra.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is not like physical, but more like a energy aspect,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
That's and again that just kind of sums it up. It's very different usually for each of the three burners, and in fact on each occasion that we do this practice, because it's something that we can do ourselves anytime. We can do it regularly and build it into our practice. And but the thing is, don't expect it to be the same sort of format, even with the same burner. Each time it's going to be probably quite different. So it's really lovely that you have such different kind of experiences for all of them. And yeah, I had the same sort of thing with the lower burner. In some respects, it was very much super energetic, as it often is for me. But yes, I'll show you what I've got if you'd
Yeah,
like.
our viewers definitely would like to see it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you'll have to forgive me because when I'm kind of channeling and doing the meditation, I don't get quite as much detail always from the experience myself. But maybe you can see this. Um, the upper burner was relatively quiet for me. I had sort of kind of a spacious feeling about it, so it felt quite sort of open and spacious. And I almost had the image of kind of a like two people on a park bench there talking to each other and being present with each other. So yeah, that was the upper burner for me. I guess the spaciousness is kind of airiness, really. It's a nice thing, and also because I suppose this is where we get into the interpretation bit slightly more. You don't have to, but this can be a good. It's a bit like when you're having a dream. You're kind of in the dream, and it's very vivid. And it's only afterwards when you have the distance and you're able to interpret it and understand what it means. It's kind of a similar thing with the three burning spaces meditation, I think.
Thanks, Ema. I have, uh, I need to share experience. So it's like different people will feel different kind of experience. They will have some different experience, and
Mm.
only they can interpret it best.
Yes, although
So
I would say if you have something and you're not quite sure of how to interpret it, sometimes the kind of um, imagery that you can get during one of these um, things can relate to traditional Chinese medicine kind of imagery, and if you did want to get some extra kind of a different perspective from somebody um, about one of the burning spaces, if there's something that just kind of it's important, but you're not really sure what it's telling you exactly, kind of what area it's in, but you're not quite sure, or maybe you want some advice on what to do about it, because you know um, we can't all kind of learn that stuff ourselves, and you might just want a bit of an expert, or, or somebody who's a student and practitioner to have a look at it for you. So pop something in the comments if you want, or you can reach me on Facebook or wherever and just drop me a message if you've had an experience and you want to get some more insight into it because you feel like there's something missing, or there's something extra you could benefit um, from it, then please feel free. Just get in touch. I'm more than happy. I love questions. But yes, your own. It's your body talking to you, and primarily, you will know what you've experienced, and you will know what it feels like to you and means to you. So you need to really trust your connection with your body and your understanding, and trust your kind of intuition as to what it means. I'm not saying you should um, come to me just like, this is what I had, what's it mean, because that's not how it works. Go within, connect with yourself, you answer those questions yourself.
yeah, so I just want to say another thing. It is like when some experience or kind of realizations happens with
Mm.
us, uh, sometimes it takes time to get interpreted.
Mhm.
And even if we cannot feel it, that what we have experienced, if we give sufficient time, we will get some kind of clue
Mm.
related to that kind of experience, which we can understand easily.
Yes, yeah, that's a very good point. And I just on that in that vein, I'd recommend write it down. Keep hold of the piece of paper, maybe. Just make a note because you can come back to it later and maybe have the insight that you need when you look at it with fresh eyes, when things have had the chance to develop and evolve. Um, so yeah, but it can be helpful if you want something immediate um, to to do. Say for example, you felt like in the upper burner there was something a bit kind of congested, or there was something a little bit, there was maybe a block there, and you had a sense it was around. It made you feel like kind of sad, and it made you feel kind of a heaviness, or it related to a feeling of heaviness, or kind of a block in the throat or something like that, then you might not know this yourself. You would that would be a really good um, thing to work with. But what you might not know is that the lungs are to do with the metal element, and that's to do with processing grief. That's where grief can be stored. So there might be some work that you need to do around grieving for somebody or something, or some kind of change that's happened in your life. And some of the ways that you can work with that are to eat like food energetics. You can eat foods that are kind of coloured white, that are quite pungent or spicy. So that can be things like onions and garlic can be helpful for that. Going out in nature and doing breath work can be really helpful for that as well. Um, Certain types of movement exercise with qigong that are related to the metal element can also be helpful for that. So there are all kinds of different things that outside insight can bring you, but primarily you are the person who knows intuitively um, the crucial information, that what your experience is, and yeah, what you need to do, certainly to start with around that. Tanvir, was there something you wanted to say at all?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. So
Mm,
when I was starting meditation, uh, uh, in my beginner stage of spirituality, so
mm,
then I was not able to sense all those things, what is happening. So
mm.
it was kind of overwhelming for me.
Yeah, yeah.
But the thing is, the more I practice, the
Mm,
more I get attuned, and then
mm.
started to feel that what my body is trying to say. So
Yes.
I will explain. I will suggest our audience to do this practice again and again if
Mm,
they're not too much aware what their body is trying to say. So if
yeah.
we keep practice this meditation few times, we will definitely get some clues that what
Mm.
we are feelings.
Yeah, absolutely, Tanvir. I couldn't agree more. It's actually it's kind of like building up a relationship between you and your body, and you and your energy. At first, it can feel, I think, partly because are we're new to it, so it can feel very overwhelming and vivid. Also, I think when we've not connected with what's going on in our body, and our body really wants to communicate that to us, it can be really, got to tell them, this might be the only chance I get. I've got all this stuff to. Do you know what I mean? So it can kind of, the body can want to show us all the things, and that can be quite overwhelming too. But the more you do it, the more capable of receiving and understanding and seeing the subtleties you'll be, and the less your body will feel it needs to like get get it all out and tell you all of the stuff all at once. So it becomes more manageable a process for that reason as well, I think. Right. So I've got also the middle burner, which felt kind of more to do with, there was kind of a loving feeling, but it felt very kind of still. And yeah, it was kind of still, and it felt like there was like this kind of, it's hard to put your finger on it, and that's something that our viewers will want to be aware of. It felt like there was kind of this lateral thing, this kind of, it's hard to explain, but it felt like this kind of lateral, I guess, connection outwards kind of thing. Anyway, it was a certain quality that I'm finding it hard to explain, but that was kind of what it was like visually. And for the lower burner, this was very, very, very strongly energetic. And it felt like I got this kind of feeling and sense of an image of the universe being in outer space, and kind of the expanse and the energy and the potential and the just the amazing magic of it and that connection to everything. And when I was there, at that part of the meditation, I also felt a connection up again to, I felt a resonance here and here, and to my chest and my kind of my head as well, an energetic resonance whilst I was connected to the lower burner. So that's something that can happen. You can get kind of sensations or feelings or things happening elsewhere in your body whilst you're connected with one of the burning spaces. That can be down to kind of energetic resonance. That can be down to meridian lines, even, so it might be that there's a point on the same meridian line that relates to the space that you're connected to. So if I was connected to the lower burner and I felt something here on the insides of my eyebrows, then that might be, I think, that would be a good indication that it's related to the bladder meridian. And I might think about the kind of the associations of the bladder meridian, especially if I'd been having a bit of a bad back recently, because the bladder meridian is related to the kind of the spine and things like that. So yeah, it's just fascinating, and I hope that's helpful to our viewers.
Thanks, Ema, for explaining it. And what I am feeling that different people will experience different kind of scenarios here. But
Hmm.
what I can suggest, there is a book from the Dave Shapiro, Your Body
Ooh,
Speaks Your Mind. So it's a
ooh.
quite interesting book because when I was reading that book, then I get realized that okay, our body tries to speak when it's needs to say something, and if we
Hmm.
are not aware enough to experience what my body is trying to say, then some other issues it creates, like physical,
Exactly. Yeah.
like different kind of diseases and different. So as soon as we can realize what our body says and we take initiative on those things,
Mhm.
definitely it will not only keep us healthy but also push us through, go towards the abundance. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. If we can learn to tune in and to notice before it gets to the stage where we can't avoid noticing, as soon as the thinking brain becomes aware, generally things have got pretty bad by that point, haven't they? Let's be honest. So yeah, this practice is really good for that. And there are other kinds of introspection exercise that we can do to connect in with the body as well, and we can use body scans and things, but this is a really nice, intense, deep kind of dive into each of three very different energy centers. So it gives us a good overview of what's going on with our bodies, with our energy, on all levels as well as the physical. So it's yeah, I find it really helpful. And if our viewers want to access it as an audio recording, I do actually have an audio recording of it on the Insight Timer app, which they can listen to for free. Um, and it's what I think 15-20 minutes long, and you can just kind of, a couple of times a week, even just once a week, checking in with yourself in that way can be really, really beneficial. And you can start to build that relationship with yourself, that holistic relationship with yourself, and that awareness. And that is absolute gold if you do want to get into energy work and spirituality, because we see everything through the lens of how we are. And if we know how we are and we know ourselves, then we can get a more accurate perspective of the stuff that's outside of us that we're connecting into.
Thank you, Ima. That link would be in the description of that meditation, and I will put the link for of this book as well, so that our
Brilliant.
viewers can take a look.
Thank you, Tam.
And I want to thank you especially from the bottom of my heart on behalf of
Oh,
our viewers that today's session was quite intense for me as well. I think it's also intense for our viewers, and
yeah,
definitely it is helpful for me, and I believe it's also helpful for our viewers as well. Thank you very much.
my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Ma. In the next series, we are going to learn about dowsing, how to do it practically. So
Mm.
stay tuned with us. Till then, bye bye.
Bye.